Warning: there are major spoilers for Omori in this video. If you have not yet played and beaten the game, I recommend doing so before watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. In Omori, you play as Sunny, who when sleeping takes up the self-created alternate identity of Omori, a younger, mostly emotionless version of himself. He does this to explore and adventure through Headspace, a world that exists within his dreams and is more than likely of his own imagination. The real world goes on outside of his dreams, as a big part of the true path of the game takes place in the real world. Sunny's mental state combined with his very vivid imagination can sometimes lead to vivid hallucinations, and incredibly real-feeling daydreams in the real world. After he accidentally caused the death of his sister years ago, Sunny began preferring life in the dream world as Omori over real life, reliving the days when him and his friends were close, imagining new adventures to go on with nostalgic memories sprinkled in, all in an effort to distract himself from his reality. Sunny, through one small choice, breaks this cycle of extreme escapism and possibly changes the path of his life and his friends' lives forever. As with all things, though, there is inevitable pushback on progress, and for Sunny, that pushback comes from inside himself. Sunny created and became Omori in his dreams sometime after the incident that led to Mary's death. Omori, as explained at the start, is a younger version of Sunny who is emotionally vacant. Omori's emotional vacancy is represented not only in his stark expression throughout most of the game, but also in the plain fact that he is black and white, while the majority of the dream world is filled with vibrant colors. Omori is a part of Sunny, and as shown in the story, this part of him begins to express a sort of will of its own, directly opposing the will of Sunny later in the true route. This is shown not only in the direct battle with Omori, but also when Omori goes against the player's choice of saving Dream Basil and instead kills him. I believe the reason for this stems directly from what Omori is as a character, or at least as a representation of an inner part of Sunny. Sunny should be able to explore the dream world as himself, but instead chooses to explore it as Omori. He recontextualizes the real world within his dreams, and Omori is the form he chooses to take when he explores this world. Why is that? Why not the current Sunny? There are a few reasons for this, and most are stated plainly within the game itself, and some through situational context. One such character in the dream world that tells us about this situation is Daddy Longlegs. While wandering through Firefly Forest, you'll happen across a couple of hidden paths that lead to areas you can explore. One secret path inside of another. Isn't that funny? After reaching both paths, you eventually find a something and also a shadow. And if you interact with the break in the trees where the shadow was, you're led to the Lost Forest. Here, you meet Daddy Longlegs and begin a small maze. Daddy Longlegs is a tall, dark, and creepy figure with a lantern that likes to spit out depressing wisdom as you explore. If you follow the paths with ghost bunnies near them, you'll eventually find your way to the end of the maze. Here, Daddy Longlegs tells you part of the story of the dream world. Daddy Longlegs explains that Sunny, referred to as the Dreamer, originally explored the worlds within his dreams himself. The exploration would eventually lead to the discovery of Black Space, the place where his darkest and most intrusive thoughts lived. With this discovery, Black Space began to leak into the rest of the dream world, and Sunny began to panic. So, he created 3 benevolent beings to reset this world, essentially, eventually compounding dead world upon dead world in his dreams, on top of Black Space. The 3 benevolent beings he created are more than likely the Big Yellow Cat, Humphrey the Whale, and possibly Abby from the Abyss, though it's not known yet. The Black Space, as well as the dark thoughts and feelings it brought back, kept creeping into the dream world, which led to Sunny restarting his world over and over again. Finally, in an effort to avoid this altogether, Sunny essentially created an alternate identity for himself to live in the dream world: Omori. Daddy Longlegs states that Sunny did this to live in ignorance of what he'd done, to truly escape these bad thoughts, a separation of self. Sunny, in essence, creates a character within himself to play, to act out the fantasy that all that had happened in reality had not. So, this should make it easy, shouldn't it? Omori is Sunny. But then, why does Omori go against Sunny's wishes, and later in the game refuse to do as he wants, and even fights him as the final boss fight of the true path of the game? I believe that Omori is a persona created within Sunny that isn't necessarily a fake different person. Omori is, in a way, who Sunny was before he accidentally killed Mary. Omori is only fake in that this younger Sunny no longer exists in the real world. It's the ultimate form of escapism. In his dreams, Sunny is no longer his current self. He's Omori. Omori doesn't deny the truth or ignore it. Omori isn't Sunny. So Omori didn't kill Mary. Omori didn't ruin the lives of his friends and family and break apart their entire group. Omori didn't do it. And since Omori didn't do it, Omori hates Sunny for it. In this way, Omori is still part of who Sunny is. Sunny hates himself for what he's done to everyone he loves, especially Mary, and this is represented through Omori. Omori is the part of Sunny that believes all of his friends hate him. Omori is the part of Sunny that hates himself for what he did to his beloved sister. And Omori is the part of Sunny that pushed Basil away and rejected him. In this way, Omori is still part of who Sunny is. I don't believe that Omori is a completely separate being within himself, like a split personality. Omori is more of a mental partition of Sunny's thoughts and personality, given life through Sunny's imagination, his self-hatred, need for escapism, and in-game metaphor. Omori is, again, like a character in a play, a role that Sunny filled. A character that Sunny played in his head to push away reality. A character that would inevitably represent the past 4 years of his life, his repression and denial of the truth, and an internal battle that leads to Sunny finally coming to terms with himself and the accidental death of his sister. A character that he named for his sister's piano, which he at times seemed to feel she loved more than him, that he might have felt was more deserving of her love after all that had happened. At least, that's what I think. I feel like Omori is a game that lays its heart bare. You can get the gist of most of what Omocat and her team were going for just by playing it and taking your time, but you may miss some key content and context if you rush through it. Who Omori is as a character, I think, is part of that. You have a pretty solid idea overall of Omori and what he represents for Sunny in the story, but I think at the end of the day it's left up to your imagination what he really might be, removed from a metaphorical context, that is. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've got a few more Omori videos coming, and thanks for watching. Have a good day.